All right, so the forgiveness part, remember, if you use this loan for eligible expenses over the 8 weeks after you receive it, you could be eligible for forgiveness. Once again, the bank is in sort of the driver's seat here, and they're the ones that have to certify that you are due forgiveness. And they're probably going to require, documentation of how many employees you have, payroll tax filings, a copy of your lease if you're claiming rental payments, things like that. There's more guidance going to come on this as the loans are just now starting to get funded. I don't think many of the banks are focused on verifying the forgiveness part. Although in the law, it did say that the bank will not be held liable. This is a self-certifying type loan, and so the bank collects documentation, and they are allowed to rely on your documentation to verify the forgiveness. Okay, so the loan terms themselves, if you do not qualify for 100% forgiveness of the loan, it's a 2-year loan at 1%. At one point, it was a 0.5%, but in the final interim guidance, it came out at 1%. And of course, you will owe that, the difference between what you were loaned. If you're loaned 250 grand, let's say, and you spend 200 of it for authorized expenses, then you'll owe $50,000 on a 2-year term at a 1% rate. The payments are deferred for 6 months, but the interest does accrue during that period. There's no collateral or personal guarantee required for these loans. And here's a huge one. You may not know this, but normally cancellation of debt or loan forgiveness is included in your income. For purposes of the PPP, any amount forgiven is not included in your gross income. Now, if you own an S Corp or something like that, and you're forgiven this, you may run into some basis problems being able to subtract the full amount of the loss. It's really complicated the way how you compute what you can take as a loss. So you're going to have to get with your CPA or tax professional, but just recognize the fact that when you have this money forgiven, but yet you had those expenses, you may not be able to take the full loss depending on how your business is set up and how it's capitalized.